Sorry I haven't been around. I've been busy mining out all of the resources out of our mountain, and as you can see, we have a giant freaking pile. I'm curious to hear how much you think I'm gonna get out of this. How many stacks of iron, coal, and copper? Comment down below and let me know, because I think it's gonna be a metric butt ton. Alrighty, so we've got a slight change of venue. We're up here on the mountain, and as you can see, I have been busy. I cleared out a giant space. This is where our big house is gonna go. But first, let's take a look at all of the stuff that we got exploring and lighting up the caves. So we've got almost an entire double chest full of coal. We've got about half a double chest of iron. And then this is the big whammy. We've got over half a double chest of raw copper blocks, which one of these equals 9 of these. So we've got a metric butt ton of copper, and I've got big plans for it in the future. So first things first, we need to get the floor in here in the big compound, or the first floor rather, and then we're going to build the super smelter and the auto smelter setups together. Wha-bam! Look what we got here. Including polar bear, apparently. I really like doing detailed floors a lot. It's super duper fun for me. I've been doing it since I started playing Minecraft with either bi or tri-colored planks, except these are slabs and not planks now, but they used to back in the day. Firstly, we have this armor stand, which right now I have it set to the least obnoxious setting, which is just telling us which biome we're in. But if I crouch like this and I click, it's going to move through some different settings. And this is a add-on pack from Foxy. I'm pretty sure that's the one we use here on Dynasty. So this right here is showing you the chunk that this armor stand is sitting in. But if we click it again, it's going to show us all of the chunks within the simulation distance of the armor stand. So this this chunk here is the chunk that we're going to place the super smelter in. And luckily it's a small, you know what? Alrighty, so I reset our little armor stand buddy. That way we're only seeing this one chunk and not all of them. So it's a little less jarring, because this super smelter does take up the 16 blocks that is a chunk. Because a chunk is 16 by 16. And we've got 16 furnaces here, and it's going to set up super simple. I guess you could say it's a super simple super smelter, if you want some alliteration in your life. Let's hope that the polar bear over there doesn't see us. But if it does, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So we're going to put a hopper right in here. And then we're just going to literally feed him right down the line. Even if you're not using an armor stand mod, you can use a website called Chunkbase, and I'll link it in the description of this video. There are things on there that you can use that will show you what the chunk is. It just involves a little bit of math and using the coordinates that I always show on the upper left-hand side of my screen. So we've got 16 furnaces and 16 hoppers. We're going to come around to the back. So this bottom line of hoppers is all going to be where the smelted items feed into the chest at the end of the line. And what we're going to put on the back is going to be the fuel input. And they're going to go right like this. Missed a couple there. There we go. And then we're going to swing around the front again. And we're going to crouch. And we're going to jump. And there we go. And then you're just going to place them right down the line again. This thing literally whips together in like 5 seconds. So you've got your bottom hopper that goes into your output. You've got your back hopper, which is your fuel input, and then the top hopper is going to be what feeds in the items that you want to have smelted. The nice thing about this setup, or any super smelter setup, you can have them be furnaces or blast furnaces or smokers, and this setup will work the same way. I don't know why you would need 16 smokers, but you do you. Oh god. It's happened. I don't want anything to do with your child, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's come to this. You came into my house. I know I don't have walls yet, or a ceiling, but like, you don't even have a child at this point. It's the only downside to trying to build in a mountain, is the polar bears. It kind of looks like a lot, but it really isn't. I just put a pretty facade around the outside of it. See, I've got some stuff going on. Let's sneak around the back. So you'll see I have normal rails across both lines of hoppers, and then I have a couple of double chests, and I have a couple of hopper mine carts, and we're going to put one there, and we're going to put one there. But if we go back down here to this end of the line, you'll see I have this redstone block, and it's powering these two sets of redstone rails. So we have these two lines. The back one, or the lower one, is for fuel, and the upper one is for smeltable items. So rather than bore you all with technical jargon, I feel like you understand basically the concept here. So I'm going to load up the fuel. I'm going to load up the smeltable items with everything in the chests over there. And then we'll talk a little bit more while it's running. All right, so now it's time to give the levers a pull. There they go down the line. And then they should come back. There they are. Sometimes you'll notice if they run slow, we can put in a powered rail right here and put a redstone block over it. Now that I've shown you guys how it runs, I'm going to cover the bottom line of hoppers and that minecart with slabs, and then that way it'll stop picking up stuff from the upper line. Because you'll notice there in that first hopper there was some iron is falling in. This is why ones like this tend to not be made on bedrock, because we're the red-headed stepchildren and we get all of the jankiness. But I have found a couple of ways to mitigate this issue to where it won't happen. All right, it's time for test 2. And you'll see I did add in that redstone block and those powered rails like I told you to kind of push things along. Let's give it a shot. Off they go. Here he comes. Bang. So, I had a little snafu yesterday with my audio and my video and didn't realize it. So the attempt to fix these lines so they ran properly is nowhere, or me setting up our fuel source is nowhere. I haven't ran it again since the third test that you guys haven't seen because I'm an idiot, but I digress. So we're going to pull the levers and hopefully it should run smoothly now. And I have everything covered in the back as well. Yep. Okay, perfect. What I'll do is I just shut this off every once in a while. They should come back into the home station. Perfect. Perfect. And then they'll pick up more stuff. Because usually if I'm running my super smelter, I'm here in the building. So it's not really anything for me to come over here and press, pull a lever every once in a while and send it on its way. But even between the 2 test runs you saw and the one you didn't and today, we're ripping through all this iron. So even with the lag issues with the minecarts, I get pretty good rates on this. It's not as janky as a lot of people might think minecart setups are for super smelters. They get some bad rap here on Bug Rock. Okay, so we are still getting iron. So what we're gonna do, if this happens with your setup, if you notice this issue, after you already try blocking off the top line of hoppers, what we're gonna do is I'm going to take out this second minecart. And once I have enough lava produced with these lava buckets, I will just turn this back one into an input chest, and then I will put a hopper here, and it'll lead into a line of hoppers that'll just feed directly into the fuel input, and then this will not be an issue at all. Enough of the super smelter nonsense. I feel like you folks probably have a firm grasp of how to set this up. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I love helping people, and I love answering questions about Minecraft, and we're all one big community here. Like I said, a little while into the episode, we were going to set up our auto furnace setup. Once I had enough iron to make some more hoppers, we were going to set that up, which I do have now. Let's do it right here, actually. So you're going to take... These are your output barrels, and I do use barrels instead of chests, and there's a reason. I like having all of my output be separated, and this way with the barrels I can have all three right next to each other, and they all have their own input and their own output, and I don't have to worry about the chests linking up or doing anything weird like that. Same with the input. I mean, you can see I'm just rambling and it's whipping together in like 5 seconds. It's literally how easy it is. And there you have it. Super simple super smelter and a super simple auto furnace setup. You've got your output chests here in the front. You've got your input barrels here on top. And then you go around the back and you've got your input fuel in the back. The nice thing about this is if you have this little 3 furnace setup in your base, you can literally just walk in, drop in whatever ores and stuff you need smelted, whatever clay or whatever nonsense, kelp or whatever you need smelted in the furnace, or you can do kelp again in the smoker or any of your food items like steak or pork, and just kind of set it and forget it. Steal a line from Ron Popeil. I don't think he'll mind all that much, but I hope you really liked this episode. If you did, feel free to give it a like. If you want to see me do more technical stuff like this, comment down below. If you want to see more of my awkward shenanigans, consider subscribing to the channel. And either way, I really do hope that everyone has a wonderful day and a beautiful tomorrow, and we'll see you when we see you, folks. Later.